I've been traveling extensively in the country. I'm a constant searcher for the typical Indian, be it food, be it mentality, be it spiritual side. So that's one side. But of course, as a diplomat, you are here for politics, for economic issues, bilateral relationships, development policy, and research exchange. So there's a lot of a variety of different things. If you ask me what was my most remarkable
Most
experience,
challenging
yeah, this I think
experience.
was to get through the COVID situation. First, evacuating our citizens, 5,000, and then bringing aid towards India, and to see how we could help the Indian side getting through this, through our oxygen deliveries and this kind of thing. So this kind of getting through the crisis, making every week decisions how we open the embassy, how big we do this, what do we do with the visa, but this kind of thing was a very challenging. We had already seen through Ebola crisis that pandemics are maybe some phenomenon which are here to stay. This was not a global one, but it could have been a global one after a while. Now, the COVID has shown us in an unprecedented manner, as you said, how vulnerable we are. We depend on each other. The producers of vaccines, those who finance things, the researchers, all have to work together, including the supplying raw material countries. So all this is interconnected, and I think everyone has now understood how fragile this is. So the WHO has already done some lessons learned, uh, best practices, but let's see, the next pandemic might be not exactly like this one. It might be another mutation, but we better get our act together and invest more money into this kind of research institutions, and to make sure that once this is happening, that we provide those countries which are not that wealthy with the vaccines faster and better. Well, India is with the sheer number of people, it's always in the center stage. 1.4 billion people in the world are Indians, so there will be always a big role for India. India has, of course, a lot of challenges in poverty reduction, but on the other hand, it's also a very, very developed country in science. They fly to the moon. They have these laboratories, be it in Hyderabad, be it in Pune, be it in Bangalore, wherever I go, I see state of the art laboratories and students by the thousands, by the 10,000s, which are the future inventors of these kind of vaccines. So there's a important cooperation between the Indian capacities and brains and European and world capacities. I mean, the answer to that is diversification. We have to make sure that these raw materials, or let's say not raw materials, but these products, be it chips, be it other things which are technically very advanced, have to be produced in more than just 2 or 3 countries. So they have to be produced also in India. And what I hear is, I mean, if you go to Pune these days or to Hyderabad, I've visited so many companies, some with German relation and some without. They are so state of the art, already producing this, already being part of the future supply chains. So they have learned the lesson already, and made in India, and being self-reliant is already in your bloods, I guess. So I think that's the right way to do. With the help of friends, we help you there to help yourself then. But I think that's the answer to this. We have to make sure that in a case of a pandemic, we don't have to wait for one particular country to deliver things. We can get it then from 3, 4 other deliverers, and that's, I think, what we have to learn. All which is super advanced. I have seen the nanotechnology. I've seen artificial intelligence, driving without driver. I've visited all these companies and factories which produce together with the Germans these technologies. So like cars in Hyderabad, they will be in models Audi or Mercedes in 3 4 years. That advanced they are. Now these Indian engineers are working on driverless steering wheels, and I've seen these steering wheels, and they will use it in 2 years in the production of Audi. So they are already happening. These things we have to have more of them. I've seen so many campus in Pune, Hyderabad, Bangalore, which remind you on Silicon Valley because that's the standard they have there. So I'm pretty confident that India is catching up very fast. As I said before, on military export into conflict areas, it's always a bit difficult, but we see what we can do with submarines, with other defensive issues. But this is a constant talk between our experts and ministries, and we will see how far we can get.